Bring it.
Hey everybody, looks like this is Bob.
Hey everybody, this is Miles with Static Radio.
Okay, you trying to match my tempo here tonight, are you? Again?
I know we're both upbeat tonight. You know, usually we're all like, we're so tired and depressed, we can't do the show.
Okay, what are we doing? Why do we do this?
Like we're like both up tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wow, that's weird. That doesn't usually happen.
That's a little. You're right. That is a little unusual. Normally,
Normally
only one of us is feeling better. So must be something in the air.
Yeah.
It's spring is in the air.
Spring is in the air.
Spring is in the air. Which actually leads into my story. Actually, thank you very much.
All right. Well, let's get going.
So because spring is in the air, I'm having to mow the grass, which I know you love. Every week you love to hear me say, "What'd you do?" I said, "Oh, I mowed the grass."
Yep.
And you're
I
like,
love it.
"No." And if I don't say it, you're like, "Aren't you going to tell me about mowing the grass?"
Do I start? I sound like Patrick from SpongeBob. Is that how
Yes,
I
you go, "Oh, SpongeBob, aren't you going to tell me about mowing the grass?"
I didn't know I sounded like Patrick. Thanks a lot. I'm Patrick
Yeah,
Star, apparently.
Patrick Star.
Yeah.
I've got a belly button. So I had to mow the grass, and so, I'm mowing the grass. I got some grass to mow. And
You got a lot of grass.
I tool around. I got a nice lawnmower. It's got the zero turn, I turn around in the zero.
Got a nice big hat.
Whatever that means. What's that?
Bald head.
What? A bald
nice
head?
Big
yes.
hat for your bald
head. Yeah. Hat. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I'm tooling around, and I'm cutting grass, and I'm not, there's some people, I'm not overly meticulous, let's be honest. I kind of just get out there and get it done. Yeah. And, I kind of, as I'm driving around the yard, if things look like they can get chopped up, I just chop them up. I'm not, picking up the yard.
Animals.
Sure.
Yard,
whatever.
trees.
Sticks, twigs.
Dandelions, rabbits,
Dandelions.
toads,
whatever. Pine cones.
Yeah, I think I know what the whatever part is.
Acorns.
Yeah, okay.
Beer cans, whatever. So I'm tooling around. Well, I wear glasses normally, and so I've got my glasses on. They're not really protective glasses, but stuff's flying everywhere, right? I mean, sometimes I'm in a cloud of debris because I just run over anything in the yard. So I'm going along, and then I get done with one part of the yard. I have to go, I kind of got like a front and a back and a back and a side back and all this kind of stuff. And
sure.
I'm like, oh, my eye's bothering me. So, I'm fiddling with my eye, and I'm still mowing. And then I get done mowing, and I come inside. And normally, so like the way this is going to be too much information for you, but what I like to do is I like to take a shower after I mow because I'm covered in all this stuff that I run over, right? And so I'm like, okay, my eyes bother me, but I'm gonna take a shower. I'll wash out my eyes and be fine.
Yeah.
So I do that, and usually I get a lot of crud out of my eyes because the dirt's flying. And so then it's still bothering me, and I'm combing what's left of my hair, brushing my teeth and everything. I'm like, what the fuck? I look in the mirror, and it looks like basically somebody took a ballpoint pen and poked me right below my iris on my eye.
Ah.
Yeah. And it looks red.
Oh, shit.
Like blood. And I'm like, did I stab myself in the eyeball with something? Yeah. And so I'm like, I holler from my wife. I'm like, come in here and look at this, I think I've hurt my eye, but I can still see fine, and it doesn't, it's just a minor nuisance. One time I got a piece of metal in my eye, and I couldn't keep my eye open, like a real small piece. Yeah. And I had to go to the emergency room and get it taken out. But and that was my other eye. So, but anyway, so I get this thing in my eye, and she's like, yeah, it looks like you hurt your eye. And I'm like, oh, fuck, So I'm like, well, let's see if it'll clear out. You pull your eyelid and you do all kinds of stuff to get it to water, your eye to water. So she wanted me to hurry up because we were going to go do something and go to lunch and then go do an errand that she wanted me to do. And so we're having lunch, and I'm like, is it still in my eye? Yeah, still in your eye. We go do the errand. It's still in my eye? Yeah, still in my eye. I go, now I recently went to the emergency room for nickel poisoning.
Yeah.
And
right.
So my wife's like, we're going to stop by the Urgicare because I'm not getting up in the middle of the night with you in your eyeball. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, we should stop by the Urgicare. So we go by the Urgicare, and it's not too busy, thank goodness, And so then you got to go through the whole procedure of telling everybody, what's wrong with you. And you know what? I'm a little bit fed up with these healthcare people. A little bit.
Yeah. A little bit.
A little bit. Because, I'm a man of a certain heft and age.
Yeah.
And so I go in, and this guy who was he had to be older than me, but maybe he wasn't. I don't know. He was like the tech or whatever, and he's checking me in, and he takes my blood pressure and stuff, and he's like hooks me up to the the automatic blood pressure cuff, it squeezes.
Yeah, right. And
he tells me the blood pressure, and he goes, "Oh, that's pretty good." I'm like, "What the fuck? What do you mean? Oh, that's pretty." I'm like, I never have high blood pressure, right? I've always had good blood pressure, but they look at me and they're like, oh, this fat fuck is gonna have like sky high blood pressure,
Oh, I would bet on that. I'd be like, oh,
yeah,
definitely.
And I'm like, no. I go, well, it always is around there. And he goes, well, people like us, we have to be watching. And I go, what do you mean, old guys? And then he got pissed at me because I called him. I lumped him in with me as an old guy. So first of all, he kind of gives me the, that's good. You got good blood pressure. And then I throw the old guy at him, and then he gets all pissy with me. So
you're stealing my whole rap, man.
Yeah, I know, exactly. It's totally being you here. So then he sits me in the little room at this point, and he got rid of me.
Goodbye.
And then the nurse comes in, and she goes over stuff and looks over things, and she asks me some questions.
Yeah.
What happened and so forth, and she's like, "Let me ask you a few questions. Do you smoke? No. Oh.
Are you?
Oh.
Are you sexually active?
Yeah. I'm like, what? What is this? What is this? I look like a fat smoker? Is that what I look like? Oh, that's good. You don't smoke. Fantastic.
I think people in St. Louis must be in horrible health.
Yeah, I think so, apparently. Yeah. And she asked me a few other questions, and everything was good. Are you taking any medication? No, I don't really take any medication. Whoa, you don't? I can't believe it. It's amazing. A big fat old fucker like you should be taking at least 5 things.
Ponce de Leon. Ooh,
yeah.
Look at this fossil youth.
Yeah, I'm like, no. And then I just got bad knees and I got this thing in my eye, I think. And then
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, good for you. You don't smoke. You don't have all these prescriptions out." And I'm like, "What do I look? Do I look like I'm like on death's door or something?"
Did your chart get mixed up with someone else's or
Yeah.
something or what? Oh,
So I like this. This is does not. I'm not coming across well. You know what I mean? So then the it's a doc in the box, right? But it's a nurse practitioner, which is a little different than a doctor, but not by much really. And she comes in. I want to tell you, this woman was the antithesis. Though I would say she was the apex of efficiency. She's like, "What's up with you?" I told her. She grabs a hold of me, opens my eye up, looks in it. She's like, "Yeah, looks like you got something in there." I'm like, "Yeah, it feels like it." She's like, "Hold on a second, let me go get." And then she walks out or something, comes back with this like Bausch and Lomb squirt bottle or something, and and this big looked like a big giant Q-tip. And then she comes at me with this Q-tip, and she goes whoosh, right before I could even think about it.
Yeah.
And she goes, "You sure did have something in your eye. Look," and it's on the Q-tip. It was like it was like a throwing star shaped piece of acorn.
Oh my God!
That was about the size of a ballpoint pen point. But it had to be sharp, and it was stuck in my eyeball, and because it wouldn't move around or anything when I blinked. And then she goes, "Hold on a second, I got to put some dye in there." And then she sticks this dye thing in my eyeball, and then she takes the Bausch and Lomb after she looks at it with a black light. She's like, "Hold still," and then she's like, "Oh, I think I got it. You got a little bit of a scratch there." And then she goes, psh, squirts my eyeball real hard. I mean, she wasn't even in there more than like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I spent all this time with the old guy who was criticizing my health, and then she got me a script for some antibiotics for my eye just so it doesn't get infected because it looked like it did stick into it, and set me on my way. But I was like, but she was actually the least judgmental of all of the people. Even the lady that checked me in was judgmental. What's that?
She wasn't surprised that you were just an awesome dude, and
no, she could have cared less. She was just getting through her day, as far as I could tell.
I'm tired of working with these assholes.
Yeah,
I'm tired.
I got some dumb fuck with an acorn in his eyeball. And no, but she was really nice, and she was very efficient and non-judgmental on me, on how it even got in my eye or whatever. And it was just like she stuck a big Q-tip in my eye and ripped it right out of there. So I'm like, "What do you think that is?" And she's like, "I got no idea." Throws it away. I'm like, "That could have been important."
You know what it is? None of your fucking business.
None ya.
None ya.
But so then she got me out of there, and I got my. But even the lady who checked me in was like, she was giving me the third degree because when she started checking me in, she said something I didn't hear, and I said, "What?" She's like, "Do you have more than one insurance?" I'm like, "No, just that one." Like I should have more than one insurance, I guess. I don't know. Oh. Yeah, that's the whole thing. The whole experience was,
look at Mr. Got Rocks here.
Yeah, look at this guy. Yeah. She was like... So, but I got this thing took out of my eyeball,
it'd be funny if it was like all the same person. It's just like some dude putting on wigs and stuff. Like,
no, it was different people. It was different people.
Nope.
I was freaked out because the nurse kept touching me. She kept touching me, like reassuring touches. Yeah.
Oh, your moves are juicy.
Yeah, they're juicy. Yeah. But I don't like, I'm I don't like all that. So I was like, this lady's kind of freaking me out a little bit. She's like, it's okay, hon. We'll get you taken care of.
Let me just try those testicles.
Yeah,
Yep, they're there.
I'm like, I got Flo from Allison here as my nurse.
You're getting all felt up.
Yeah. Kiss my grits. Yeah. So she was very nice, but yeah, and so yeah, so I spent about 3 or 4 hours with this dot of an acorn in my eyeball, and then finally got it taken out. So.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Yeah, it was a harrowing experience.
Horrible.
Yeah. But it just felt like an eyelash, but it would not move.
Yeah.
I thought it actually, I couldn't tell looking at it. I thought it was just a blood spot. Like have you ever gotten hit in the eye and it leaves like a spot of, oh, you never have? Okay.
No.
I thought that's what it was, but it actually was something in my eye. So.
No, I have not had anything like that, thank God. No.
Yeah. So, what's up with you?
I don't know. I have stories, but I don't know if they're any good or not.
I don't know. I wasn't fat shamed or medically shamed.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll just go with this. So my son and I made a day trip into Chicago suburbs.
Oh, you went to get some more autographs?
Yes.
And these autographs are going to be worth so much.
They're going to be worth nothing.
Yeah. These guys are on their last leg. I'm getting them just before they die.
And, like, close to it, there's, like, this restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And,
oh, I know. You sent me a picture about that, right? Yeah,
and it looks like just like something out of a gangster movie or something. I don't know why. It just had that look to it. Like
it'd be go like in there, Bonnie and Clyde type gangster movie, right?
Yeah, it looks like this building has not changed in a long time.
Yeah, it's cool.
Best shish kebabs in Chicago or something. I'm like, okay, whatever. Yeah. And so we go to the signing and stuff like that, which is no big deal. It all went very well. And I had mentioned it to a gentleman who works at the signing place. He's like, "Oh yeah, you gotta go there. Hey, you gotta go there." You gotta south side of it.
Yeah.
I can't talk Chicago South Side. I can't do it. But basically, he's wearing the White Sox hat. Hey, you gotta go there. You gotta go
to the White Sox. Yeah.
The White Sox. I gotta tell you about it. And so because we were actually going to go on and go to a different place, which has really nothing to do with the story. But I'm like, well, I'm pretty freaking hungry. We'll just go to the best shish kebabs in Chicago and we go in there.
House. That's what it's called, right? The Shishka House.
The Shishkas. Come get shishka. And
we'll skewer you.
Because it's like when we drove past it, there was like not one car there. I'm like, oh, that's weird. I thought it was closed actually. And
get nailed at the Shishka House.
Yeah, so I go there, like, it's all, like, BMWs. I'm like, oh.
Uh-oh.
Like, there's something, like, we're in a Ritchie place, or there's, like, gangsters or something. I don't know what's going on. I'm like,
right.
Land Rovers, and, this, I really feel out of place with our piece of shit car.
Like, hey, look at the fat guy on all the medication coming in.
Oh, medication! Oh!
I bet he smokes. And has high blood pressure. Okay.
And so we agreed upon we'd go there, and my son, goes in first, and the hostess, she's like, "Oh, you two are gonna eat. Oh, okay.
Put more chicken in.
Yeah, go get the shish kebabs ready."
Go.
And I'm like, "Oh, okay,
cut up another sack of potatoes. These fat fucks are gonna eat a lot.
Lots of them. Whoa." And what else? Oh, but it's weird because like one of those ladies that's like shaved her eyebrows, but now like
really?
She's like got like makeup where the eyebrows were. Or something.
She drew them in, or
yeah, big time too, like Groucho or something.
Oh my God.
Hey, let's stick it right. You get And I mean, not to be mean. No, I'm not trying to be mean, but I thought it was a little bit like, wow.
She's like, I'm on the chemo. I can't.
I'm like, oh, really? Oh,
I'm
so
on
you
the
got me doing
chemo.
that.
Quit making fun of my eyebrows.
Where do you want to sit at, honey?
All I had was a
I
fat
don't.
tip Sharpie this morning. Get off my
I stole it
back.
from the dry erase board. It's from the dry erase board. Yeah. I'm like, oh, that looks really cool. That's nice. That's nice. You look that
That
way.
was
That's
cool.
nice. It was distracting. It was so distracting.
Oh
I'm like,
my
wow, this is like
god.
so. Because you don't want to stare. You don't want to stare, but at the same time, you're like, oh,
You're
uh
like,
huh.
send in the clouds.
We're getting it there already. Here, point, points.
Where are the clowns?
She's got like this little cape on, and she goes, "Let me speak you." Mm. I'm like, all right, all right, okay, all right.
Is it like Uncle Leo? Was she angry at you all the whole time? Why are you angry, Uncle Leo?
Yeah. Are you happy or mad? I don't know.
Can't tell.
And we get seated like nice spot, by the window, right in the middle of the restaurant. And restaurant's probably about half full. I guess everyone's enjoying their shish kebabs and waffles and whatever else.
Shish kebab.
And and so one waitress, God bless her, she's working like the whole freaking restaurant. I swear to God. I'm like,
Was this
oh
the
my
one
God,
with
it's poor
the
lady.
painted on eyebrows?
And she's like, "Hi."
Was it
No, this was Large Marge. She shows
okay.
up. And she's like, well, what do you want? Wah. And I'm like, Joanne Worley, hello.
Ooh,
And
boring.
so, no, yeah, the lady with the eyebrows is taken off. She's back at her post now. And so
Okay.
anyway, I'm like, well, give us 2 big plates of shish kebabs or something.
Yeah.
All right, okay, all right. And so she takes off and puts on her order, and we're kind of waiting there, and immediately, we get our drinks right away, and out of nowhere comes like this younger looking woman, like almost, I want to say she was skipping, but it almost like she had a little bounce in her step, which is like really distracting too. I'm like,
was she working there, or she just?
Yeah, she worked there.
Oh, okay.
She worked there, but she's like, here's the biscuits. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, well, thank you. I like
honey.
biscuit. Yeah. I like your biscuit. Yeah,
I like that you don't paint on your eyebrows.
No, but look at my mustache.
Yeah, look at my penciled in mustache.
Play the secret word and get $50. And so she goes bouncing away, and I mean, I don't know how long it took to make these goddamn things. I'm like, fuck, this is like. I had no idea how long it took to get this food. I mean, it was like, wow.
You always have slow service. Oh my gosh.
This was so incredibly slow. I'm like, did they have to go out and kill the animals in the back there first?
You had slow service when you were in Hannibal too.
Did the rabbi have to come by and bless the meat before we could eat it? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what.
Mecca ho.
I don't know. There was like some incredible thing, and so we finally get served, which is fine. Very busy, a lot of people in there.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady checks in on us like 2 minutes later, like, how is it? How's your shish kebabs? I'm like, oh yeah, they're really, really good and juicy, the way we like them. All right.
They're shishka fucking good.
And I'm a slow eater now. Unfortunately, my son, he could have.
What do you mean?
He's a
now?
faster eater.
You used to be a fast eater, didn't you?
I can't. Yeah, I'm getting old now. Talk about getting old. Yeah,
slowing down. I guess. I used to. I watched you shovel stuff in before.
Not anymore. No,
I've always eaten slow, and I always get complained about. But yeah.
I know. I've never been a slow guy. Now I'm slow. So
yeah. How interesting.
And of course, so I'm on slow speed. My son's on regular speed, so he's finished his pretty fast, and he's run out of drink, and I've barely touched mine. I'm like, well, just have a little bit of mine. The lady will be back. She'll ask us if you want drinks, and just oh, okay. So he drinks a little bit, puts it down. Lady walks past our table, nothing. Yeah. Walks past our table again, nothing. I'm like, Like we're just like the Invisible Men at this point. I'm like,
You got to raise your hand or something. Sorry,
I
miss.
know, because then she was like heading our way with like two big glasses of soda.
Uh,
I'm like, oh, it's one of those ladies that brings the soda that doesn't have to be asked. Like they notice that.
yeah.
No, she goes cruising right past the table. Like,
You're like,
hey,
you're like, hey, Chico, make a stop here.
boss,
Ah,
here's a drink.
hey, what you to drink? Yeah, what you
What do you want
got?
to drink?
I'll be back
No,
maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. Who knows?
never once were we checked on again. I'm like, oh, okay.
Mm,
And I don't know why my son was getting like visibly upset, by this. I go, well, I'm sure she'll eventually stop.
yeah. No, you just
No,
stick your hand up. Pardon me, miss. Can we get some
I
refills?
know. At that time, I was finally done eating. I go, listen, I'm going to drink the rest of the drink. We'll leave. Okay.
Yeah.
The lady finally picks up on this, and she's like, oh, you need a box, huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'll take a box. She goes, how about some dessert?
Yeah.
After the whole, like, neglecting us for like half an hour, all of a sudden she's trying to push dessert on us. You're like,
Well,
oh, have the cream shish kebab. It's good. Mm.
she's
I'm
seen
like,
Monty Python's Meaning of Life, and she didn't want to be anywhere near you.
wafer thin mint pups.
She's like,
Yeah, I don't know.
it
It
looks like
was so
Mr.
bizarre.
Creosote. Hmm.
It was so bizarre. Let's go. We just left in disgust. We're
So,
like, okay, let's
oh,
just
wow.
go.
You got in your Beamer and you took off.
Yeah, no, believe me, I didn't have a Land Rover, Beamer, Audi.
I got in
I'm
my
like,
good old Beretta,
jeez.
hit the highway.
I know. I felt so out of place. I mean, no one was like really dressed up, or anything, but it was just like
Yeah.
I know everyone could buy and sell me at this place,
Oh.
basically. I'm like,
Well, that's why you didn't get a refill.
I know. I think they picked up like, oh, that's the guy with the Beretta. Mm-mm.
Yeah, you see what he drives. Hey,
Look into my
Groucho,
eyeballs.
did you see in his wallet when he came in? No, I didn't see. He didn't have nothing.
Yeah, he's probably a lousy tipper.
Probably a lousy tip. Look at him. He's got fat
Look at him.
sausage fingers.
Gravy dripping from him.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that neck. For Christ's sake, he hasn't missed a meal.
So yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I don't think I'm going back to shish kebabs or us anytime soon.
Shiska heaven. It's so shiska good.
Yeah.
It'll make you shiska. Bob.